if my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways.
Fellow Southern Cameroonians, most resilient Ambazonians, we have come a long way down the road of slavery. 56 years of servitude might not be a long time to go by biblical standards, but it has pleased the Lord our God that He has appointed 2017 as the year of our liberation. We should at this point in time salute the good faith of our forebears, Endele, Foncha, Mbile, Muna, and the others. During their days and with their modest ability, propelled by great love for brotherhood, our fathers negotiated for us a union that love should have transformed into an El Dorado for all. But no, those they affectionately referred to as our brothers were, and in fact still are, slave masters. The story of how the world became an accomplice to our demise is about to be unraveled as God executes justice. It is therefore proper that we, in modest and subtle diction, paint a picture of the deprivations, the subjugations, the indignities, and general dehumanization that we have had to suffer and are still suffering. And the world expects us to graciously accept to undergo them. We as a people are called to live like royalty, but for 56 years we have been compelled to suffer the most gruesome indignities. We are a rich and generous people, but whose wealth, love, and generosity have been abused, despoiled, and confiscated. We are a dignified and a proud people, yet we have been reduced to the pride of dogs in our homeland. We are a dynamic, law-abiding, and peace-loving people, having and capable of the highest ethical standards, yet reduced to beggarly docility. Yes, we are an intelligent people, yet our children have been refused education, the only route given to civilized communities to advance. Dear people, we have come a long way indeed. We have undergone economic, cultural oppression, and genocide. It is recorded in history that the pound sterling has always been at least 10 times stronger than the French franc. Yet at the time, our parents were compelled to let go of their sterling pounds in favor of the much weaker franc. The former was in fact devalued to an unrecognizable level, so that much richer people became slaves and beggars. That was at unification, and it was the beginning of our economic travails. In spite of the above, our economy, the West Cameroonian economy, was still the better of the two. The Produce Marketing Board was proof of this. By the time the farmers' Bofa stock was taken over by Yaoundé and its headquarters moved from Kumba to Douala, the Produce Marketing Board had well over 150 billion CFA francs surplus ready to guarantee for our farmers stable market prices during global economic slumps. What became of it? Yaoundé and its cronies crippled the Produce Marketing Board. Within 2 years, Every single franc had no trace. And what happened to the previous marketing board rapidly pursued our business magnates, the Nangas, the Kilos, the Chairs, the Longlas, the Neba Otos, to name just but these few. 20 years down the line, even after most of them have died, Yaoundé is still owing their crippled companies billions and billions of CFA francs. Dear people, we came into this union, this discredited and regrettable union, with state-of-the-art equipment. But what happened to the Public Works Department, fondly referred to in those days as the PWD? 50 years ago, Yaoundé carted away all the machines, all the caterpillars, the trucks for road construction and maintenance in the name of national unity. What became of the enviable community projects like WADA and UNVDA? Destroyed, just so our people may not see the light of day. You will remember that as far back as the early 70s, West Cameroon had a hydroelectric supply project, PowerCam, with power generated from Yoke. Wonderful it was in those days. What became of it? They were all dismantled and the equipment carted to Yaoundé to refurbish and make Songlulu better and stronger, so that Yaoundé could have absolute control over our economy. The other hydro power plants that our people had for us in West Cameroon, the Abbey Falls and Menchum Falls, have never seen the light of day, in spite of the fact that Menchum Falls is said to have the capacity to supply the whole of West Africa hydroelectric power. What happened to our road infrastructure, dear people? For 50 years running, we still have to travel from Bamenda to Boya and from Boya to Bamenda, passing through East Cameroon, covering twice the distance it would take us to travel through Mamfe and Kumba, just so Yaoundé may have absolute control over us. And so for 50 years running and more, there has been no road linking the northern part to the southern part of southern Cameroon. For 56 years. And for over 40 years of oil exploitation, dear people, our councils have not received even a dime. The Sonara is in Limbe. It pays its taxes in Douala. Mundemba is the seat of our oil. Ndian Division is the seat of our oil. Yet for 56 years, you cannot travel to Ndian and come out on the same day. For 56 years, timber is exploited from our forests. Yet royalties have never been paid to our councils for this. But as you have been hearing on the radio stations and televisions of La République, every quarter, billions of CFA francs are paid to councils of La République, councils of the East region, of the South region, of the center, for timber exploitation. Yet timber exploited from Manu, timber exploited from Kupe Maninguba are labeled Sangmedema and Balmayo, so that royalty due our councils are in fact paid elsewhere in French Cameroon. This is exploitation. We have had too much. Enough is enough. It is time to go home and take charge of our economy. Dear people, what kind of union did we get into a bicultural, bijural, and a bilingual country we were supposed to have. And what is there to show for it? We have had to fight, protest, and face water cannons just to have educational institutions and facilities. It took us 34 years to have an Anglo-Saxon university in respect of our culture. It took us 50 years to have the higher teacher training college to train second-grade teachers for our secondary schools. It took us 56 years to have a technical teacher training college for our secondary schools. Even then, what do we have and what do we find? The schools that we virtually wrestled from Yaoundé by force are flooded with francophone lecturers and students, both in general and technical teacher training colleges. Must we fight to get even the basics? And in the wake of all this, when we complain, Yaoundé treats our grievances as mere issues of translation. This is most spiteful, Gradually and with calculated persistence, Yaoundé has completely overridden our common law legal system. And when our lawyers protest after years of complaints to no avail, they are treated like children, like rooks, beaten on the streets, molested in their hotel rooms. Their legal gowns and wigs, material that are revered in our culture, are confiscated. What kind of a union did we get into? For 50 years plus, our councils have never had autonomy. What kind of union did we get into? When teachers complain about the francophonization of our educational system, and when the communities come out to protest, our daughters and women are raped, our children are slaughtered, maimed, abducted, our leaders arrested, and tagged terrorists. What kind of union did we get into? Dear Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians, we have indeed come a long way. From Albert Mokom to His Majesty Barrister Goji Dinka, to Mfo Ngala Mfo, Augustine Dangam, to Justice Alobwede, the Akwangas and the Ayabas of this age, we did not just fold our arms and sit quiet. We have been complaining. But the world has never paid heed, and Yaoundé has exhibited total indifference. In the face of all these dear people, we have shown great courage, great resilience, great perseverance, remarkable self-control, for we are a civilized and a well-cultured people. These values we must not abandon even during our tortuous journey home. The good book says, there is a time for everything. There was a time, therefore, to be enslaved, and now is the time to be set free. Nothing and nobody can stand on our way, because the Lord has decreed. And He has decreed that 2017 is the year of restoration. And so we have come a longer way still since October 2016. We should therefore salute our great lawyers who said money was of no use when their people could not have justice in their own courts. We salute the Balas, the Bobgas, the Yambes, and the 1,000+ lawyers they lead. It has entered the history of our nation that our lawyers stood for justice, and justice we shall get. And that justice is absolute and total restoration of our statehood. The Fontaines, the Abangmas and the Penns and the others have also entered history. It matters little that some got tired on the way. We salute in a special way Mancho BBC, who ignited the coffin revolution for our restoration. We salute with the same strength our compatriots from Mandela's country, who in the midst of unimaginable confusion sacrificed enormous resources and time to bring the various structures in the struggle under one umbrella, SCACUF. The Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians all over the world, the signal for unity has been given. This is the hour to put aside all the petty and fabricated differences imposed on us by the enemy. We are Southern Cameroonians, we are Ambazonians, full stop. The agenda of the first SCACUF conclave has been accomplished 100%. A law firm of great repute was retained to represent and guide us on the legal and diplomatic fronts. The SCAPAC fund was also created and has reached its first milestone in fundraising, $35,000. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. We need to raise millions of US dollars every month to sustain the thousands of teachers and lawyers who are starving to death, whose families are starving, who cannot pay hospital bills and other utility bills. If this struggle must continue, then we must sustain these great and valiant compatriots. We equally need to sustain our brothers and our leaders, our children, arrested and jailed in the most despicable prisons of La République. These we can only realize if our efforts are collectively conjugated. For initiating SCAPAC and taking it to this present level, we dove our hearts to the Boston family in the USA. It is now time for all and sundry around the world to mobilize around SCACUF and its fund, SCAPAC. We therefore call on all Ambazonians around the globe to come together, create SCACUF branches, and open SCAPAC accounts for this struggle. If we will go home at the time appointed, then we need to act as one. We need to have total and absolute unity. Unity of vision, unity of strategy, and unity of resources. While the various structures members of SCACUF will continue to exist, it is time that we hear less of the consortium, hear less of Maurice, hear less of the NCNC and the others, and hear more of SCACUF. SCACUF now has an organized structure. Though not perfect, we are perfecting as we go along. Always remember that we are in a revolution. We are trusting God for the grace to coordinate properly our strengths and undermine our weaknesses as we go along. We should therefore encourage ourselves and each other, for though the distance left is short, it is very rugged. Many more may fall on the wayside. This should not stop our resolve. Not everybody entered the promised land. We should see and talk less about our errors and weaknesses on this last lap of the journey home. We are in a revolution. This is not the time for perfection. We know that expectations are great. But let us improve on the errors we commit on the rugged road to the promised land, Amber Land. Dear people, the next couple of weeks and months are going to be very, very decisive. The church has been dragged to court for not opening their schools by agents of the Yaoundé junta, who themselves are unable to open even public schools. If you needed any other sign, then this is the writing on the wall, and it is clear. And if you need a Daniel to do the interpretation, then this is what the writing says. Nebuchadnezzar is about to walk on his knees. Therefore, on Friday 21st April and on Monday 24th of April, our people should flood the courts in Bamenda and Boya as a sign of unity with our spiritual leaders. The body of Christ cannot be pushed around by evil men. We should pray and fast that God may yet be merciful and compassionate to the Yaoundé regime. As this is Easter season, and to the Christian community, be reminded that our liberation from the shackles of slavery is the reason for which Christ was crucified. And for all of us, Muslims and Christians alike, let us continue this journey in prayer and fasting, believing that our God is faithful and will deliver us on time. He is never late. Our God is never late. He is always on time, like the prophetic minstrel sings. And this is the time and season for our liberation. As we continue to trek home, we want to sound and send this word to Yaoundé. Liberate our leaders. We want Bala home. We want Fontem home. We want Mancho BBC home. We want Penn home. We want our fathers home. We need our children home. They are not terrorists. They are asking for that which is legitimately ours by national right, by divine rights, and by international rights. They have no place in your prisons. Liberate them, because the longer you keep them, the more you become deserving of what God is about to inflict on you as judgment. Dear people, the struggle continues, the distance is short, and we are at the threshold of victory. Happy Easter, and God bless Southern Cameroon. God bless Ambazonia.
If my people